And we are live. Woo, woo, woo. Welcome everyone to She Did It web series. I am very excited to be doing these series live. So, as you know, we used to pre-record and then share them on YouTube. And we also shared a lot of them right here on the page. But now we have everybody here live. Woo, woo, woo. So I am so excited to share with you every single week an amazing women entrepreneur that has done it. So our goal is to inspire you and motivate you to do it. And a lot of you are doing it, so that's exciting. And Lara is such an inspiring woman. We have been in the game for a little bit together. And I'm super excited to have you with us today, Lara. And just love your background, by the way. I told you that already, but yeah.
Thank you, and I'm really happy to be here.
So Larry and I met way back. So I had another initiative that I called Mom Powered. And I was basically doing something similar to She Did It, but it was really a little bit, I must say I was pretty bold because I was pretty much doing everything myself, which was really crazy. But now I have a team, and the goal of Mom Powered was really to help women have their kids and business too. And so what She Did It, you don't have to be a mom to be part of the network. So that's a little bit different. But I'm so inspired by you, Lara, because I mean, back then you were doing it, and you had a business partner at the time, but it was really bold. You ladies were awesome. And from there, you came to who you are today and what you're doing today. And I'm just so very proud to see, the growth and everything that you're doing for women entrepreneurs. It's just so inspiring and very happy to have you with us today. So for those who do not know you, I know many do, but we have people from all over, Canada, United States, other parts of the world that may not know who you are. And so if you can present yourself a little bit, tell us who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. So, my name is Lara Wellman, and my business now is called The Biz Studio. And I'm a business coach, and I love helping specifically women who are business owners figure out how to make more money and also build a business that works with their life, which actually leads well sort of to how we met. Because when we met, I had another business entirely. It was a children's clothing store. It
Yeah.
was called Apples and Oranges.
Love the name.
And at the time, I had one baby, and he would have been 2 years old or so when I would have met you.
Oh, yes, I
And
remember that.
it was and I got pregnant with twins before, like it was when I knew you because I remember us talking about twins because you
Yeah.
also have twins, and just the fact my twins are now 11, so just to give you a sense for how
Crazy.
long ago that was, a lot has changed since then. And so
Yeah.
what I love to do is help people, women specifically, build businesses that they love and doing work that they love and that fits with the life that they want to have. And to be honest, that business didn't, right? I had a bricks and mortar store and I was there on the weekends and into the evenings. And it was just like I felt a little bit attached, chained to it, not attached,
Mm.
chained to it. And so now I've built a business that works really well for the way that my brain works. It works well for my family. It works well for me overall. And so I really love helping support people figure out what that is
Love
because
that.
a lot of time people go in and they build a business and they think once they get to that place where they figured it out, they'll have this life they love. But what if you figured out what that life is first and then you build a business that
Mm.
fits?
That's it. I love that. That is so key. And do you find that you kind of stumbled on that truth, by trial and error for yourself?
Well, I'm definitely right. I've been a business owner for 13 years now,
Yeah.
and there has definitely been a lot of change and pivoting and trying to figure it out, and just understanding myself The beauty of being a business coach now is I get to teach all the people the things that I didn't get support with and made all the mistakes in the beginning. I'll be like, I figured that out. You like, don't do that thing. Don't do it like that. That's not the
Yeah,
way.
absolutely.
So yeah, so it's been a bit of stumbling. I've hired amazing coaches over the years who have helped me figure out all the mindset stuff and the key
Yes.
strategy stuff and how to just build something that works instead of sort of stumbling forward and trying to figure it out.
And how did you kind of decide that this is the path that you wanted to take? Like, even back then, like, was it, something that, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
There's a lot of pieces to that actually. So first, I
Mm,
always thought I wanted to be a business owner, but I never, like, not for a specific thing, just kind of like, I'd really like to do that. I want to be a business owner. And I don't think I could have articulated why then, other than, so I have a typical ADHD brain, so I have new ideas all the time, and
yes.
I'm not necessarily super keen on other people deciding what I should do. Um,
That's right.
and so, having my own business and a lot of entrepreneurs are also ADHD brains because we're suited to it, right? We're not risk
Yeah.
averse and we have lots of ideas and we're willing to jump into things and we have a lot of, excitement and throw ourselves in. So I think that that's a big part of it is that being able to do the things that I'm inspired by when they come to me, being able to pivot and change, right? Every time I
Yeah.
change a little bit of what I want to do. I don't have to go find a new job. I can just sort of
That's
tweak my
it.
business,
Love
and
it.
now I
Yeah.
get to do that.
That is so awesome. Like, just being having that freedom to do that is huge, right? I mean, once you get through those, hurdles and bumps and things like that, then you get to find that flow, that really works for you and brings in not only, the right type of clients, that's one thing, but also the income that comes with it, right? So what
And
was
I've
your
pivoted
oh,
over
go
the
ahead.
years. Sorry, I was just going to jump in there, right? Because I did
Yeah,
the
yeah.
clothing store. And then my background before I had a business was in marketing communications. And
Oh,
so that's what I
okay.
did first is I did social media marketing and I taught people, business owners, my first thing was I did a Twitter workshop, like come and learn how to use Twitter. And I taught people how to use Facebook and I did social media strategies and I did all of that. And then I started to feel like what I really wanted to do was help people with figuring out the basics of their business, right? People come to me and
Hmm.
they say I need a marketing plan and I'd ask all the questions you need to ask to have a good marketing plan. I'd be like, "Oh, we need to do some other things first." And then I was like, I really like helping them figure out the other things. Are you even charging enough money? Do you know what you're selling? Do you know who it's for? Let's figure out those things. And so I changed my
See,
business again, right? So I was doing social media and then I was like, it's not quite right. Let's go over here.
I love that. That's great. So you kind of went with the need, right? You kind of went with the people that actually decided to pay for the social media stuff. And then you came up with, another service that then became your bread and butter, right?
Hmm. And it's the magic thing that I love to do, right? Because
Mm,
I was good at the other thing, but I love doing this.
that's amazing. And did you take training or anything like that? Or what was your path in being able to basically become that expert that you are today?
So, as a business coach, I started to sort of step into it before going and getting any training, learning
Mm,
from having been coached, learning from
yes,
programs. Like I've done a lot of education. So, I hadn't necessarily gone and trained to be a coach, but I was doing a lot of things. And then I went and did one program in the States to be certified as a business coach. Um, and then really, I mean, it was good, but really the primary thing that's helped me be good at this is running a business, talking to
yes.
other business owners, being coached, going and doing trainings and learning about new tools, which I'm constantly doing, so that we can keep finding new ways to make everybody's business better.
That's right. And with the internet nowadays, it's really become more accessible for people to develop expertise in something and hone their skills and be able to, grow to be the expert, that you want to be really, and once you find that, that thing that really like floats your boat, as they say, then you can definitely advance and do what you need to do in order to get the proper training that will be helpful for your clients. But it's not always cookie cutter, and it's not always the conventional way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And as a coach, you know, you can Google a lot of ways to make your business better, right? You want to go and
Yeah.
Google strategies and ways to do things. You can do that. You can find all kinds of things you can do. But the question is, are they the right thing for you?
Mhm.
Is that methodology going to work? Is that the way that your clients are going to work? And so what I do with my clients is make sure that they're not just trying to shove themselves into somebody else's path. And a lot of
Love
that is
that.
just, like let's make sure we build your confidence. Trust the fact that you know that there's a better way, and even though you've never heard
Yes.
of anybody doing it that way, doesn't mean you can't try it anyway.
That's it. Love that. And then you develop your own definition of success, right? So success means different things for different people. So I'd love to know, what is your definition of success? Like what would be, what would success mean for Lara?
So for me, it means having the freedom to still spend time with my kids, be there for my kids.
Yeah.
It means having time for me, not just me as a mom, not just me as a wife, but
Yes.
like
So
just
sweet.
not, right? Like just me. I have hobbies and I do things with my friends and that are just for me. And I want to have, like, I am never going to be the kind of person who wants to work, 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 work. So
Hmm.
I want to build a life that is spacious with freedom to explore new things that gives me time to think and philosophize on life. Um, and then, and still make enough money to travel and to have a nice home and to make sure that my kids have the things that they need and that I can give back. So success is helping people, helping other women, helping make sure that more women embrace the realization that they can make good money without having to break like
Yes.
psychologically break, right?
Love
They don't
that. Yeah.
believe that they can do it, um, and be a good parent and all the things, but I beg to differ.
Mhm.
So it's like all of that things. It's helping people, being able to give back,
Yeah.
making money, but above all, not feeling like my business and my work has trapped me, but that I get to
Mhm.
just go through it and enjoy it at the same time.
Love that. I love that. And so, because the thing is, some people, that's what makes them afraid to go ahead and do this, because they're not sure if they can really do this, if they can really bring home the bacon, as they say, right? So having examples like yourself, myself, and others that are doing it, it makes a big difference. And so I don't know if you have an advice for somebody who's maybe like wanting to do this but is afraid. Maybe they have a great business idea, or even maybe they've had a business before and it didn't really succeed, so now they're afraid to go at it again. Or maybe they just want to do the jump, and especially in these COVID days, like there's so many changes, and a lot of people really realizing that they want to do something else, right? So any advice that you would have for us?
On all of those things, I think the important thing is, so number one, I don't think most people realize they're afraid,
Yes.
right? In the
Mhm.
same way that they are. Fear of success is actually really, really common, and most people
Yeah.
don't realize that they have it. If I ask you if you want to be rich, you would probably say yes. But if I said, like, do you want to build a really successful business that makes you a lot of money, you're going to be like, that might be too much work.
Yes, so true.
And so it's just realizing if you actually are stopping yourself from trying, because you
Mm,
think something's going to be too hard when you haven't tried to work out how it can be not hard.
that's right.
So I'm not gonna say, right? This is the thing. I'm not gonna pretend that it's gonna be like unicorns and rainbows all day long. But
Yes.
overall, you can
Yeah.
build something that doesn't have to be all stressful, hustle harder. Like I say that a lot, right? It's not the hustle harder. You can build something, but you need to know what you're trying to build. You need to know what, remember I said earlier, what does that life you're trying to build look like? What is it that
Yeah.
you're trying to create? What does the business look like, and how does it fit into that life that you want to create? Does it make enough money? You need to see where the gaps are, right? I talk to
Hmm.
people who they're like, I'm not making enough money and I'm working all the time. I'm at full capacity and I need to have 40 clients to make the money I want to make, but I'm at full capacity at 20. Well, then you need to change something. Like you need to look at it, examine what you can create, and maybe reimagine how it's going to work so that you can build it the way you want it to.
That's it. Absolutely. And would you recommend as well, for example, for yourself, did you have any kind of funding, when you started, or, would you recommend as well, for looking for something like this for those especially that are afraid of, going out there and maybe not having any kind of income to fall back on?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I was able to
Okay.
bootstrap it, but I mean, there are lots of great programs that you can use to help you get forward. Um, and you need to know what your own comfort level is, right? Everybody, that's again,
Yes.
it's, there's no one size fits all. So, what is the thing
True.
that's going to make you feel safe? Like I was saying earlier, the ADHD is not, sort of risk of is not risk averse, right? I'm like, I'm just gonna try it. We'll see what happens. It'll work out. And other people are like, if I don't have this much money put
That's
away, I
right.
cannot even look at this idea. And
Yep.
neither way is wrong. So
Yeah.
you need to know you and you need to know what's going to feel good.
That's
And
right.
again, right? Just like you want to build a business that fits with the life you want to build a business that fits with the way that you operate, the way that you feel comfortable, understanding who
Yes.
you are. I use different assessment tools that I think are fascinating. One that I use is DISC. Another one is Colby, and
Yes.
I'm a quick start, right? The Colby has this thing. I'm like, and I go. And other people are like, should you like research what you're
That's
doing? I'll be like, it's fine.
yes.
um, but we need all the types,
Oh,
number
yeah.
one,
Absolutely.
and we need to honor who we are and not
Yeah.
fight it, but work with it. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
Absolutely. No, but I mean, it does in a sense that, yeah, some people will have no issues just kind of going at it, jumping in it, like my husband and I are like that. We just kind of, we see the opportunity, we see where we can get, as sometimes it's not very planned out, but we just kind of jump and we love doing that. And, if we fail and we dust ourselves off and we try again, that's just the kind of people that we are. But I know that not everybody's like that. So it's really important, like you said, to know, how you will be in the event where, things don't pan out as, as you wanted it to and stuff like that. So I think, and for yourself as a business coach, I'm sure you've seen, different spectrums of this.
all of the different spectrums, right? Like there are people who are panicked because they're all out of money, who have more money than most people, and people who have no worries about money, who have less money than most. Like there's
Yeah,
no like actual logic to how people feel, which
that's
is
true.
okay. So that's why you need to build something that works for you. And it's why I get frustrated when people sort of pitch these like one size fits all
Mm,
solutions
so true.
because not, we're all so different. So what is it going to
Yeah.
be that you're going to feel good with? What feels like what creates flow for you? What makes you
Mm,
feel like you're using your superpower? How do you go out and get the people who just like want to be with you? And that's where it really gets magical.
yes, love that. And so maybe tell us a little bit about maybe one failure that you'd like to talk about? Like, what kind of lesson did you get from something that maybe didn't work out the way you wanted it to, and how did you bounce back from it?
Well, I mean, there was my 10-year anniversary as a business owner. I think I wrote a blog post that was, here are the 10 mistakes I made, and five of them were money ones, right? Like I just kind of, didn't save for taxes and
Mm-hmm.
like just kind of like
Yeah,
made
yeah,
up, like there was a lot of made up numbers. This
yes.
is how much I think I should charge because I think it's what people will pay, but like
Mm,
not actually figuring out how much I needed to earn to pay for everything.
yes,
Right?
that's
Like
so good.
actually
Yeah.
doing, so having a business budget or like just
Mm-hmm.
actually putting all the numbers together and not being afraid of the numbers. So looking at your numbers all the
Yes.
time. That's a really big one because what happens, starts to happen is you start to avoid them and you don't really know what your situation is and are you making enough money and are you
Yeah.
charging enough money and people get caught up in like, well, I can't charge more, nobody would pay it. But then like, but you're not making enough money. Like you need to know
Yeah.
so that you can adjust. And so there were a couple years where it was like, I'm, whoops, right? Like all the
Yeah.
money is like, this is not
That's
adding
right.
up. And so I needed to fix that, and I
Yeah.
did. But that's like an important lesson is to not,
Love
you can't
that.
just sort of put your head in the sand and
The
ignore
sand.
it.
Absolutely. I think we've all been there. And so it's a trial and error type of thing, right? And then surrounding yourself with people that actually like numbers helps as well, right? So that
And
if
just
you
not
know it's
being
not your
afraid
forte,
of them.
yes,
Yeah, not being afraid of them. Look at them, know
yeah.
them, let yourself be empowered by them, get used to it.
Mhm.
I have people who are so uncomfortable with the numbers that it come like there's a lot of money stuff, right? People who avoid invoicing. I'm like, what do you mean you
Mm,
avoid invoicing? Because it's everything when it comes to the money
so true.
kind of gets sort of sticky. So they're happy doing the work, but all the money
Yes.
stuff kind of gets like, eh. So you gotta get really comfortable with it. And as somebody who is not
Mm.
planning and systems oriented, like that is not my jam, right? I'm
That's
just like,
right.
let's just see what happens.
Yep.
I have learned how to implement the kinds of systems that I'm able to follow, right? Like so like work
Follow,
with
yeah.
what works for you. Like is it one little rule at a time? Is it,
Mm.
people always tell me they're like, I can't believe how quickly you pay your invoices. And I was like, no, the invoice comes in and I pay it because if I pay it now or I pay it
Yes,
never.
yes. Yep.
Pay it now or pay it
Totally.
never. And so other people are like, oh, no, no, you should wait till it's due. And da da da. I'm like, nope, we pay it now or we pay it never. We know the rule and we
Yeah.
follow that rule.
I love that. And that goes with knowing yourself and knowing, what you can and cannot handle, right? So
Exactly.
what do you think there's a winning formula, for success in business? Or do you have one? Do you have some
I
kind of
mean, I think the winning thing is to try is to be willing to figure out what works for you. Right? So
yes.
I really believe that. It's looking inward.
Mhm.
It's reflecting on what's working, what isn't
Yeah.
working. It's it's always looking back to look forward,
Love
right?
that.
What's
Yes.
working for me? What's not working for me? Do I want to keep doing that? Right? There's all
Mhm.
kinds of things. This is a thing for me. I used to get paid to write, right? People would hire me to write. It turns out that even though I can write really well, I hate being paid to write.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
so I stopped doing it, right? But you need to like go
Yes.
back and be like, even though I'm getting paid for this thing, do I say no anyway? Like you have to look back and really think about what's working, what isn't working, what you like, what is actually making you more money, what feels
Yeah.
good. And so that's what I think. It's being able to look at what's working, look at yourself and just learn from that
Yeah.
so that you can adapt and build things that work better and better and better and better.
Love that. And what about partnerships? What are your thoughts on partnering, collaboration, all those things. What are your thoughts on that?
So I've had two business partners in previous iterations of my business, and it can be great.
Yeah.
So, that is one thing that you can do. Another thing, I really like collaborations. So,
Mm-hmm.
again, I think that's a bit my ADD brain, right? So I'm like, I'm really excited about a thing. I want to do it for a while. Now I want to do something else.
That's
So
it.
collaborations are like a finite amount of time. So
Yeah.
I'm doing a workshop in September with somebody, and we're doing it like that's the collaboration. I've done programs with
Yes.
people, right? Go in and
Yeah.
do a little something, and then I can go off and do something else. So I think, and again, for me, I know collaborations are new, they're exciting, which gives me extra motivation. I'm incentivized to really get stuff done because I have a partner who's waiting on me, right? So
Yes.
knowing
Accountability is good.
absolutely, absolutely. So
Yeah.
learning that I think is great, and then you get in front of other audiences. So again, it depends what works for you.
That's right.
I think collaborations, joint ventures, partnerships, they're all fantastic, and
Mm-hmm.
experimenting with them and figuring out what feels good and what doesn't, and then deciding what to do more of is key.
That's it. Love it. We could talk all day for sure. We're already half hour
A
in.
half
Crazy
hour.
how time goes by when we having fun. So, do you have any parting words for us? And also tell the people where they can, find you. And do you have anything that you want us to know about that we can, support you? Just let us know.
Awesome. So you can come check out my website if you want to at thebiz.studio. That's the website. I have, and maybe I can come and put the links to them in your Facebook under
Yeah,
the
for
live,
sure.
as
Yes, yes.
I have a planning day that's coming up in September. So if anybody wants to sort of get into sort of the juicy details of what's been working, right? Like all the ways that I like to look back so that we can plan forward. That's there. And I have a free Facebook group about building your next level business. So it's about sort of leveling up. And
Yes.
so I can put a link to that in the group too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lara. Your wisdom and just hearing, what great work you're doing is really refreshing, and we need more of that, and I think it would be great to have other conversations, as we go along, and we'd have to have more of you in the next coming months.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I will do that. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. So thank you everyone for watching, for liking, and you know what? We'll be back next week again, 7 p.m. with a very special guest. I'm not going to talk about it now, but there will be an announcement soon. So thank you. Thank you again, Lara. And then we will see each other online soon. So tomorrow, ladies, there is a online networking. So definitely tomorrow, 1 o'clock, if you're available, come and join us, and it's going to be broadcasted as well. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you.